is George Morgan. Welcome back to RaceSpotTV tonight for the F3 Championship, sponsored and brought to you by Next Level. And I have to say, we are in for an absolutely fabulous evening of racing. Certainly, we've got so many quality talents on the grid. The story has been sensational. Raul Hyman and Alessandro Di Tullio throughout this championship now, 3 wins apiece, and we come here to Zandvoort with little over 4 rounds left to go, and I have to say it's never been as spicier as this. Certainly Zandvoort now lately has faced many changes in terms of the design of the track. Obviously here we're going for the old Grand Prix layout from certainly the year of 1999 all the way through to 2019, and certainly the drama is going to be sensational. I have to say, and I'm lucky to be joined by my fellow man in the commentary box. It is Nolan Rempel. Nolan, how are you doing, sir?
I am doing quite well. Just came out of a barnstorm of a race over at Suzuka, and I am getting set to go all out for another one here in Zandvoort.
No, well, I have to say, you've come out of one barnstorm and you could be in for another. I have to say, look at this. These are the tracks that we have faced lately. Watkins Glen was the first one. What a drama story that was. Led through to Snetterton, Suzuka, Hockenheimring, Canadian Tire, Laguna Seca, Donington Park, Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. We're here now at Zandvoort, but we got 3 additional rounds after this left. Sebring, Red Bull Ring, and Hungaroring. Plenty of classics here to offer, aren't there, Nolan?
Oh, absolutely. You got, of course, 2 of the newer tracks that are going to be rounding out the season at the Red Bull Ring and the Hungaroring, which should be, 2 incredibly exciting facilities. I mean, Hungaroring in particular, I know typically some people say, it's not the most exciting track in the world. It has been anything but boring, though, here on iRacing. I mean, they have just absolutely nailed what they have done with that facility, and I cannot wait to see what these Dallara F3s will be able to give us in that season finale. But, of course, for now, it is Circuit Park Zandvoort time, and I say 20 laps. That's not the longest race in the world, but at the same time, that is still plenty of time for a lot of action and some more drama to come our way.
Yeah, definitely. Currently, there you go. That man again, Alessandro Di Tullio. Now, let's talk about Di Tullio as Ralph Benitez now hits the top with Paolo Dreiter coming through as well. Big news here around the circulations through the world of esports. Certainly, Alessandro Di Tullio signing to Romain Grosjean's RNG esports team. And what a big coup that is for them.
And getting to drive under a team that has such a famous name, such as that as Romain Grosjean on it, is not an opportunity that comes everybody's way. So you have to obviously take those opportunities where you can get them. And I'm happy to see that Di Tullio has managed to find himself in such a great situation for himself. No doubt he'll be looking to be eager to impress his new team here at this one.
Yep, certainly no better place to do it, and he has come against, no doubt, Raul Hyman, who is here as well. Great to see the 2 juggernauts here fighting it out on track. But there's so many other talents here as well. The likes of David Holland, who's currently sitting in P5 in qualifying. There's Ted Bradbury, we're currently on board with. He's been in very much at the top 10 as well, fighting it out as well. Not to mention Carlin Chin, who has been up at the top end as well, Connor Bell, and many others, including Paolo Dreiter, Flavio Dantas. All of these familiar names, Josh McCall, for instance. So many big talents. Ralph Benitez currently on top. But this circuit, let's talk about the track a minute. Obviously, 15 corners, 4.307 kilometers. That's 2.676 miles. A lot of people call it the roller coaster, given the fact that the new layout is what it is. But even so, this layout still very much envisages a roller coaster, doesn't it?
Oh, it very much does. I would say the 2 biggest corners you have to look out for that are different compared to the real-life layout, of course, reconfigured over in 2020, is obviously going to be turn 4, the 180-degree left-hand hairpin that sees you darting back out and up the hill, and obviously that final corner has none of the banking that we see, in the modern-day layout of set in 2020. Now, that being said, of course, it does have, some banking, but not nearly as much as what we have been more used to seeing over these past couple of years. Of course, being slower speeds, which means nailing the apex on that corner could prove even more crucial to get a run down that front straightaway.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I have to say that that last corner, which a lot of you will recognise, certainly on maybe other layouts you've seen, or indeed the current layout that you've seen in Formula 1, it does have the banked corner, as Nolan so rightly suggested, but as you can see, it's no less treacherous. You've got to be careful. Certainly your entry has got to be absolutely spot on. You've got to be careful of wheel spin as well. Feather the throttle slightly as you're heading out of that very sharp right-hander. Certainly turn 14 can be a little tricky as well, because it's so easy to run over those curbs, isn't it? It's just so easy to hit the gravel trap, and your car is stuck, and you'll have nowhere to go.
And at a track like Zandvoort, I mean, the speeds are so high through some of these middle sections on the racetrack, and there's so little runoff area to work with. You do have some, saving graces, such as the second to last corner, where while the runoff area might not be terribly big, it's on an uphill slope, so that kind of helps to slow down the car. But it goes to show just how critical this track can be to absolutely get it right. It is such a difficult track to get a clean lap in. It's even difficult to get a fast and a clean lap in. But so far, that's what we've been seeing today. And I mean, you can take a look at it for yourself. I mean, the field just as competitive as it always is week in, week out.
Yeah, just look at the timing deltas. And Benitez, Drater, Tulio, Falcon, Holland, all of them, Kalen Chin, they're just, I mean, Chin's just outside the 10th of a second gap from P1 as well. All of them top first place to P5, all within a 10th of a second. That is absolutely extraordinary, but that is the common theme that we have here, certainly in the F3 Championship. Ralph Benitez holding on to that P1 spot to 127.518, secures in pole position, and in behind him you've got Paolo Drater as well, 0.06 of a second behind. Alessandro Di Tullio in third place with Adrian Falcon, another tricky customer in P4 alongside him. David Holland in P5 with Kalen Chin in 6th place. 7th place goes to Flavio Dantas with Raul Hyman in P8. Ted Bradbury in 9th spot with Josh McCall in 10th. Connor Bell lines up in P11 alongside Cody Grams in 12th. P13 goes to Alejandro de la Fuente with Clement Hybel in 14th place. Kenzie Neuhoff in 15th with Alex Siviano Ledo in P16. Stephen Hancock's in 17th spot with Alessandro La Rocca in P18. P19 goes to Leonardo Cherry. P20 goes to Kasuma Kokobu. P21 goes to Stephen Phillips. Last but not least, Simon Fessy in P22. How does that grid stack up for you there then, Nolan? What are your thoughts?
Tell you what, it's such a competitive field out there. I mean, you mentioned it yourself, just 12 thousandths of a second separating first on back to third place. I mean, that is not something you see too often here in the road course racing world. That'll be something to watch out for. I'm going to keep one eye out as well on that number 18 car. Alex Saviano Leto has proven time and time again that he can be really fast in these open wheel cars. And it just this, actually just about an hour ago in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship was looking to potentially get his highest finish of 4th in that season so far. So while he's not on the top of the board so far here in qualifying down to 16th, he's got potential to work his way up there and potentially have a good run up to turn 1.
He could do. It's all about that turn 1 start, folks. Obviously, it's going to get very narrow very quickly, so these drivers have got to watch out. But certainly, they're all lined up now. Currently on the grid, and it's pedal to the metal. And it's go, 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 go. And certainly, Ralph Benitez gets a very, very good start. In behind as well, Paolo Drater. With it behind, Alessandro Di Tullio, who is also hunting on the rear of those as well. Number 22 car, oh, dearie me. And I have to say, I mentioned this at the very start. Turn 1, oh so treacherous. And Alessandro Di Tullio, a 3-time race winner this season, immediately spins, heading out of turn 1. But what a phenomenal start to this race. Ralph Benitez leads, Paolo Drater in 2nd place.
And some more carnage further in the field. I know Stephen Phillips has some damage on his front wing after getting into a bit of a boxing moment over at turn number 4. La Rocca off the track as well, deeper in the field. So it's carnage everywhere you got on the circuit at the moment. You see La Rocca bringing that car to a stop just shy of turn number 6. And I see Kakupu falling down the timing screens as well. Take another replay here at the race start here, though. Complete pandemonium to sprint into turn 1 that sees one of the race-winning favorites here potentially out of the race fight for the win early on in turn 1.
Yeah, this is absolutely massive. Alessandro Di Tullio, RAG Esports new signing. They're headed into turn 1. He got a brilliant start. Outside line. Oh, he just clipped the cut. I think that might have been a touch, actually. Might have been a touch on Paolo Drater. And that is absolutely devastating for Alessandro Di Tullio. Luckily enough, rejoining the circuit. Here's the race start again. Now you can see the marshals waving the green flags. And Alessandro Di Tullio, let's get the sky view of this. Coming through to turn 1. Oh, yeah, just the slightest touch. You can see the car just literally jitter up into the air slightly. And that is not the way to start your first race with RAG Esports.
And 3 wide in the turn 1. Ted Bradbury with a huge sin on Raul Hyman. And down blocked to the pit wall on the front straightaway. He punches his ticket through. Takes 2 for 2 down the pit straight. Makes one up on Callan Chin. And Raul Hyman works his way up into now 5th place on the track. But a kamikaze move for Ted Bradbury sees him now up into the top 5. He'll try to run down Adrian Falcon just up the road at 4.
Yeah, we said that Ted Bradbury was one to watch, but look who is right behind him. Raoul Hyman, of course, former F3 driver as well, and certainly a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure. Also a 3-times race winner, equaling Alessandro Di Tullio on race wins in the F3 Championship, and I'm sure he'd like to add one more, but he's got a lot of work to do. No one can touch Ralph Benitez right now. Kalen Chin in 7th place, also looking upon Raoul Hyman right now. You can see them both dressed in the same liveries here as they bomb down the stretch now. They've got the chicane to take at 12th and 13th turn. They've got Hugen Holtzbach, as they call it, as well very soon, but this is the Audi S's that they are taking, and certainly Ted Bradbury leading the string around. Bradbury himself, quite a gap to meet. He's about 2 seconds in behind, and Raoul Hyman, I think, surely fancies his chances. Another man who fancies his chances is the man in behind too. There's plenty of battles all across this circuit as there they bomb down the home straight now. Is it going to be the time here for Raoul Hyman? Immediately dodging to the left-hand side is Bradbury. Near side paddock squeeze as Raoul Hyman goes down the inside. What a sensational move from Raoul Hyman. Moves his way up, certainly into 5th place, and what a way to do it, Nolan.
Holy cow, just when you thought Zandvoort couldn't get any more excited, it's all kicking off early on here. And oh my goodness me, I mean, this circuit in the Netherlands certainly showing exactly why it is still a fan favorite for racers and fans alike all over the world. What a move for passes for 4th, 3rd, and even down for 5th, all the way out throughout the field. Ted Bradbury definitely going to be looking feisty to try to get back past Raoul Hyman in the mad sprint through this very, very short circuit already. 3.5 laps down. What a start to this race, though. Right aboard with Kalen Chin here, just in behind that number 9 entry, and who knows, that Delta Sport car might be under fire pretty soon by Chin in the pass for 6th.
I tell you what, that move from Raoul Hyman could well be move of the championship so far. I have to say, the way he was squeezed down that near side, that paddock side, he looked like he had no right to make that move, but he unleashed the beast nonetheless, and there was nothing that Ted Bradbury can do. Certainly Raoul Hyman showing why he is the class that he is, why he is a 3-times race winner here in the F3 Championship, equaling that of Alessandro Di Tullio, the signing of RAG Esports. And as we watch them all now circle around that final corner, down the home paddock straight, it might not all be said and done just yet, but watching them all come down now in towards turn 1, and certainly still Ralph Benitez leads with a purple lap to boot as well. He's loving the clean air, he's ahead by a second, and he's looking in great shape right now, but the story is right now, the battle for 4th place. Can Raoul Hyman keep Bradbury in behind?
And so far, he has been able to do just that. Hyman has been doing a good job of trying to hang on here against Ted Bradbury in that fight for 5th place. Had to make a bit of a dive down towards the paddock wall, down the front straightaway this last time by, just to kind of break that draft. And this time, Bradbury didn't opt to chase him down, decided it might not be the best idea to fight so aggressively when you're just on the 4th lap of a 20-lap race. There is still plenty of time for Bradbury to work his way back up and take that position back. He's got to focus big time on defense here for Kalen Chin just in behind. And Chin himself under some fire from Flavio Dantes just in behind for 8th place. You got all these battles picking up everywhere throughout the course, but Bradbury, you saw, missed the apex that last time by the corner. Under fire from Kalen Chin. Chin looking to the left. He gets blocked off. Has to duck back around to the other side. Couldn't go for the crossover here through the Audi SS. Not sure if he'll be able to get the power down to get it done properly.
No, absolutely tremendous stuff indeed, certainly from Kalen Chin, who is not done yet. He has got Bradbury literally in his sights right now, looking to try and follow suit from what Raoul Hyman did earlier on, of course. I have to say he's got a string of cars in behind too. I tell you what, Kalen Chin has got his own issues with Flavio Dantes certainly in behind as they make their way down through towards turn 1. And Flavio Dantes having a look as well now as Kalen Chin goes to the outside line. A very brave move at this stage, but he might be in trouble. Doesn't want to leave himself up for grabs here from that man. Flavio Dantes manages to certainly hold him off for now, but I have to say when they make their way down through towards the next right, it's going to be very tricky out of this hairpin bend as they do round it now, heading through the next right to the Hunzeregen turn 5, turn 6 will be next, then the almighty cascade through this semi-chicane, heading down into turn 7 and the Schlaviak bend as they make their way down now, that you can see them nose to tail, the gap thinner, that once again, that a fly's eyelash. It's absolutely tremendous here from Kalen Chin, looking to follow suit from his teammate Raoul Hyman, who is currently lying in a very favourable 5th place. David Holland, incidentally, folks, in all the drama, fastest lap to boot. So David Holland's on a fly right now, though he does have a second to catch on Adrian Falcon in P3. There you can see, there's David Holland now, looking to try and recoup any delta that he has lost, but that gap looks stagnant. 1 second is all it is between him and Adrian Falcon.
Looking to show just how competitive this field is. They can run, so close together in just their lap times, even when you have that 1 second gap. But for these guys further in the back here, the gaps, we've seen them before. They have been thinner than the air at the top of Mount Everest. I mean, this has just been some sensational racing we've seen from these guys just at the tail end of the top 10. And you see Kalen Chin closing up, has a huge head of steam. Bradbury goes defensive. Chin looking for the outside line through turn number 1. Can the 7th car hold it? No, he cannot. Bradbury fends him off in the number 9. And that opened up the door just for a moment for Flavio Dantas to throw his hat into the ring, but wasn't able to kind of capitalize on that move to go for a spot. So Chin stays where he's at, but Bradbury, no doubt, going to be under fire for the duration of this race.
Yeah, I think he's in a little bit of trouble here, Nolan. I have to say, just look at him right now. Kalen Chin is giving him a lot to think about. Maybe giving him a slight headache. Might choose to do it this time round down the right. Oh, he got so squarely there. Did that man Bradbury, and that's cost him massively because Kalen Chin has moved up. Another man who's looking for a move this time is Flavio Dantas, who finds a gap 3 wide into the next right. Wowee, what a switch back. Incredible switch back from Ted Bradbury. Planned like an architect, right to the minimal detail. Still wheel to wheel with Flavio Dantas. As they come out of that next right, once again 3 wide now. As they head down the straight, you can't separate these 3. As they make their way into the next chicane and the Audi S's, it's still Dantas. Flavio Dantas, the magician, here in this circuit here in Holland. Incredible, the Dutch GP has never been this vibrant. Amazing, amazing stuff, Nolan.
Never in my life have I seen an overtake like that before. Going 3 wide, not once, not twice, going for the triple though. And it's not over for Flavio Dantas. He's got a charging Ted Bradbury right behind him, coming up towards turn number 1. Oh, the crossover, back down to the inside line, the makes a lane. Look out as Dantas slides out of turn 1. Has to scramble to avoid a safety car. He gets it done. And Connor Bell now going to work his way out. Where did Bell cover to the number 10 car? Looking to charge up for Ted Bradbury now. Wow, now we'll see what kind of offense Connor Bell can mount. Oh my goodness, it's just when you think it can't get any more exciting. I mean, this is by far got to be one of the best battles we've seen all season long so far.
Oh, incredible. This is what Zandvoort gives you, folks. And another battle heading down into the now downhill right at the Slovian corner at turn 8. Incredible stuff indeed. And certainly Ted Bradbury once again trying to hold back the force. And Connor Bell, how has he managed to recoup that position is beyond me right now. Certainly Connor Bell, how has he got up there too in all the fighting? He's managed to recoup all those places. Obviously, given the fact that they're all squabbling, it allows those behind to obviously regain, or at least try and gain, on those ahead. So Connor Bell, in all the drama, has managed to bring himself right into this fight, which is incredible. Certainly, we're distracted from whatever's going on at the top by this incredible battle in the mid-10s, which is absolutely mega to see. Certainly, Ted Bradbury, though, still trying to hold off Connor Bell. Flavio Dantas in behind as well, Josh McCall, and as well, it's lighting up the rear as well. But Raul Hyman now has gone well clear of his teammate Kalen Chin, currently 1.2 seconds the gap, so he's managing a pretty good deficit right now in behind now. You can see them once again dueling for position. Flavio Dantas looking for a minute like he was going to have a go at Connor Bell, might still get it, looking a little untidy there was Connor Bell as they weave through the next left and right curves, and now around what is now known as the bank corner, and Connor Bell still holding on to his 8th position. But Bradbury, I have to say, what a tenacious effort here at this moment in time. He's been playing defensive all this time, but it takes a special something to be able to perform these little switchbacks, these little movements that are able to regarner you these positions here, Nolan.
I have a feeling that now Ted Bradbury, for the first time all race long, will be able to kind of settle himself down and take a bit of a breather. And goodness gracious, I mean, what a fight for Bradbury to hold on to those spots. Now it's all going to be up to Connor Bell as Bradbury starts to stretch his legs further out in front. Watch Connor Bell here. Flavio Dantas looking to close the gap, and just behind you got Josh McCall also in the thick of this fight as well. You can see Alessandro LaRocca pulling off to the right-hand side of the track, just letting the lead lap traffic through, not wanting to get in the way of this fierce battle. And considering how we've seen that battle playing on out, I can't say I blame him.
No, not at all. It's a pleasure to watch, I have to say. Running over the curbs a little bit aggressively there certainly is that man Connor Bell, but he slips it on the inside nonetheless on Ted Bradbury, and once again manages to snipe it away from him. But Ted Bradbury, incidentally, might be able to gain something back in the slipstream. Not just him though, he's got company. Flavio Danta's going for a double overtake down the inside. Amazing, and once again Ted Bradbury meeting him on the right hand side, but it's going to allow nonetheless Connor Bell to hold on as well as in behind. Flavio Dantas dropping himself ahead of Ted Bradbury, but behind Connor Bell. An amazing switcheroo between these three. It's a pleasure to watch, Nolan. Incredible. I hope you guys in the live chat are enjoying this as much as we are.
I mean, this can't get much closer than this, right? I mean, any close between this trio, and we're going to see carbon fiber flying everywhere as front wings and wheels go screaming off into the fence at this point in time. I mean, you cannot get any closer than how close this fight has been throughout the course of this race. Bradbury we thought was safe, but like you said, that last lap running wide is what causes him. Oh, the 16 car! Cody Grams is around just behind them. What's happened to the number 16 car? Some displeasure being shown for him. He was at the tail end of this long train we were watching, and I think he might have been given a bit of a tap with the car behind him.
Yeah, I think he was. In fact, remember, he was on the rear of this scrap in this mid-tens fight. It's incredible, certainly. I mean, he was right up there, but coming around this next right now can be tricky. Sometimes you can oversteer around this section of the track, and a little nudge in the rear as well. Oh, that's a big shame. A big, big shame. Certainly that's what cost him heading out into the left-hand side gravel trap that's coming around the Marlborough corner, heading into the Renault bend as well at turn 10. Another fastest lap, though, for Ralph Benitez. He's a man in control right now, Nolan. A man in control. Yeah, unfazed, unpressurized. 2.1 seconds the gap between him and Adrian Falcon. He's got room to breathe now. He can just calm down now, can't he? He can just sort of chill, enjoy it, almost like a Sunday drive right now.
And that gap was only extended. I mean, you talked about how it was just 2.1 a couple seconds ago. Now up to 2.4. He is just rocketing away from Falcon in second place. Benitez has absolutely nothing to worry about in these battles further down the order. In fact, here is Falcon currently under fire from Dreitha, just in behind in the battle for second place. Just 0.4 of a second separated the number 1 from the number 8 as they get set to see if they can potentially duke it out for the second spot. Podium as Falcon did take away that second place with Dreitha earlier on this lap. So Adrian Falcon now up to second place. We'll have to see what he can do if he can try to charge down up to Ralph Benitez up in the race lead.
Yeah, absolutely. But another man I want you to pay attention to, folks, is that man again, Raoul Hyman, of course. As I said before, 3 times a race winner in the F3 Championship. Now starting to move up on other high-profile competitor, Damon Holland, who has been well within the fights as well. I keep hurtling back to the drama of the first race at Watkins Glen, where he really did stir up a big fight alongside Alessandro Di Tullio, not forgetting Raoul Hyman as well. It was a pleasure to watch, that's for sure. But David Holland, no stranger to race wins either. And remember, he won the Canadian Tire event as we once again have another fight in between car number 13. That's Josh McCall, and I believe as well Ted Bradbury, who's right in the fight thick of it as well. Alessandro Di Tullio back in the fight as well. Incredible, another 3-time winner. As now Josh McCall moves up into 9th place. And now you can see that Ted Bradbury not liking that. He's taking exception to that fact, and is now trying to move back ahead of Josh McCall. He might get his chance now, heading down the next right at the Sloviak bend now. Cuts in on the inside. Can he gain advantage? Down through the inside, a late break, but masterclass. Nevertheless, brilliant there from Ted Bradbury, and Alessandro Di Tullio now also moves through. Oh, he's lost the rear. He's lost the rear, and certainly not good for Josh McCall. I think he might have just been a bit heavy on that brake pedal, locked up the rears, sent it for a spin. That is not the way forward, Nolan.
So unfortunate for Josh McCall, was looking so settled up there in the top 10. Now he's got some work ahead of him, and we'll take a look at the replay. Kind of flirted with the grass on the left-hand side as that one caught him. Now, you mentioned locking up the rears, a definite possibility as well. But I think it was dipped 2 wheels into the grass on the left-hand side as soon as he hit that brake pedal. That car just went on him. You cannot be in the grass when you're braking to the back and will swing around on you. That's a lesson that every F3 driver has got to learn the hard way. And it's a lesson Josh McCall just got a face full of.
Yeah, he's down in 16th place now as we're now watching There's battle rage on now between Neuhoff and Bradbury. Bradbury has been on the wrong end of many in a battle now, but he likes this switch back around turn 1 and once again pulls it off here. This time though, he's still wheel to wheel with Neuhoff as they come through the next right-hander, and still Neuhoff holds him off as they now make their way through the next left, but Bradbury not quite done yet. He will get a chance heading down through the next right, the Schlemiak bend as well, here in lap 12 of 20. What a race this has been. If we don't get a like and subscribe for this, folks, I don't know what you will do. Ted Bradbury going for the full send down the inside now, down through this next right. It's around turn 8, and certainly Bradbury pulling no punches, asks no questions, goes for the move, moves his way up into P10. That just goes to show how much he wants it, Nolan.
Can you say pass in the grass? That wasn't just 2, that was almost all 4 tires off into the grass. Went for the overtake, and one that clearly Neuhoff was not expecting, the number 12 car, so that puts Kinsey Neuhoff down another place, looking to charge up to Ted Bradbury, and they are both trying to see if they can potentially close down to Alessandro Di Tullio just up the road. You look up to the battle for third place here. David Holland out of the final corner. See if he can keep Paulo Dreiter at bay just in behind. Of course, Holland's been slowly picking his way up. He is now up and into the third position here. How about Hyman setting the fastest lap of the race as Bradbury tumbles down the timing order, so losing 2 spots. Raul Hyman, though, fast lap of the race of the 1:27, I believe, .271. Thrilling stuff here, and oh, hello! That's Bradbury! That's Bradbury into pit road! What has happened to the number 9?
Makes you wonder, surely not damage at all. Let's just make our way around the next right. I didn't think there was any issues, but Ted Bradbury has been falling down the field. Oh, a trip onto the grass. Oh, dearie me, maybe it is damage. Catching the wall there on the exit of turn 15, or certainly right on turn 15, in fact, and that finds him in the barrier. We're just watching certainly this replay once again. Here's the rear view wing view from the cameras as he now makes his way through turn 9. And as I said, this treacherous curbing, you've got to be careful. He does hit the rear wing on the steel barrier, which is not the way forward, and certainly that could cause quite a significant amount of damage, so maybe leading to him choosing to box.
You see still in pit road for an extended period of time, so definitely had damage on the back end of that machine. So unfortunate for Bradbury, who was looking to potentially be up in the top 5 at the end of this one, but not going to happen for him today. So look back now to guys like David Holland, Paulo Dreiter, and Raul Hyman, battle for 5th, 4th, and 3rd. Still looking to pick on up out of the final corner and down the front straightaway. We're already well deep now into the second half of this race. And Dreiter, oh, hello, another spin further to the back. That is Clement Heibo. That has had a bit of a spin at the number 22 machine, it would seem. You saw him stopped on the right-hand side of the track. And did he just lose this one by himself? Nowhere near anybody else? Potentially too much curb or just aggressive on corner exit? But an interesting one there for the 22.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like now as he's making his way down through towards the chicane. Now, it's very, very tricky around the Audi S's, and indeed, just lost the rear slightly, clipped the curbing, a little bit too aggressive. If you're late there, it can cause you a lot of problems. You really got to get your timing right, certainly in these F3 cars, and that's certainly a prevalent notion right by there as we're watching this big scrap happen. Once again, Raul Hyman in the thick of it, and he's closing drastically on Paulo Dreiter as they come around the next right-hander now. They can see the relentless Raul Hyman with David Holland as well in the fight. I tell you what, I've loved every battle I've seen amongst these three as we're now watching Raul Hyman now cutting on the inside, coming out of what looks to be turn 11 out of the Vodafone corner, but they're in behind. You can see there Paulo Dreiter looking to try and take back his position, but Raul Hyman showing the class that we have seen all season long, getting himself up back into the top end fight now. He is only one step away from a podium finish. That is incredible stuff.
You talk about close between Paulo Dreiter and Raul Hyman. How about a bit of a touch up to the gearbox of Raul Hyman, if I was not mistaken in that one. Tell you what, Dreiter was not wanting to allow Hyman to get off easy with that overtake. So the number 4 car now puts himself up in the 4th place. That's going to, of course, send Dreiter back to 5th, who's going to try to recover. Of course, Dreiter is high up as 3rd earlier this race, and still has 3rd place, I imagine, in the sights with David Holland just up the road. You saw Hyman miss the apex of turn 1. That allows for Paulo Dreiter to close up just a touch, but at this rate, not going to be enough for the number 4 car to be able to properly have to worry about defense.
Yeah, no, certainly. I mean, these F3 cars certainly offer a huge advert, certainly for the case of single-seater racing, but at the end of the day, a lowered power 220 horsepower car, it certainly does reward drivers for benefits in the corners, certainly at the same time around crowded fields, but nevertheless the racing has been extremely exciting and offers the chances for loads of battles, certainly in circuits like this one in Zandvoort, and once again we might have another one here, certainly in this battle for 13th place, with Josh McCall hunting all over the rear of Leonardo Cherry, who's currently in P13, but Josh McCall hunting down that inside. Can he open up the door? Goes wheel to wheel now, looking at a late break potentially. Oh, it's going to get so close. That was very nearly touching the front wing there of Josh McCall, who sent it down that inside as they head through the next right now, heading out of Renault corner, now down into Vodafone corner now at turn 11, and Josh McCall, relentless Josh McCall, who's been well within the scraps now, is now fighting wheel to wheel with Leonardo Cherry. Can he get into the slipstream, open up the door, heading down into the Hugenholtz, oh not the Hugenholtz, the Audi S's, as they make their way through. Still McCall can't find the answer, but heading out of the chicane, Cherry knows he's in a lot of trouble here, because they round turn 14 out of 15, if McCall gets a great exit, he could land a significant blow here as they come out of 15th corner now. Certainly now Josh McCall looking to open up the door. He can do so. It's a long straight down towards turn 1. You can see him pulling alongside now on the left hand, and as he does so, can he take the outside line into turn 1? Holds the outside line, feathering the throttle slightly onto the brakes, but well defended certainly by the number 19 machine, certainly Cherry, but it's not going to be enough surely for Josh McCall, who gets a nose in front and moves ahead now and gets himself up into P13th position, and that is how you do it around Zandvoort, folks. Okay, update folks, I think Nolan might be having a little issue, but you are back with us nevertheless. What an incredible circumstance, certainly out on track, certainly Cherry unable to hold back the force of Josh McCall. It's been so incredible this race, and that again is a cherry on the cake of what this race is all about, certainly, but still leading the charge. Ralph Benitez, 1.7 seconds ahead and loving life, with David Holland now an additional approximately 2.5 seconds back away from David Holland, a little bit more in fact, it's near enough 3 seconds away. So there's certainly a big gap in between the top two and those in behind, but Raoul Hyman starting to pressurise David Holland now. Hyman going for that P3 spot, which certainly will assist him in gaining yet more positive results around this F3 Championship, certainly to add to his incredible 3 wins. It has been a sensational rise from that man, incredible stuff, as they now make their way out of the first sector, heading into sector 2. Still Benitez leads. We're now certainly watching car number 4, that's Raoul Hyman once again, and rounding down into the next right at Schlaviak Bend, and now heading down towards turn 9 at Marlborough Corner. In behind you can see, in behind him, the Paolo Drater trying to close up there on the 3 times a race winner, and he's got another 0.8 of a second to find. I'm just going to check now. Nolan, are you back with us?
Should be back with you guys. Slight technical difficulties on my end, but hopefully, well, we'll be sorted with that one to the end of this race.
No, brilliant. I have to say, just give me your summary as to what you... has this broken all expectations for yourself? Certainly, I know this is the first time I believe you've commentated the F3 Championship here, certainly with me anyway, but just tell me all about it. What are your thoughts based on what we've seen already with 3 laps to go?
Well, I mean, you take a look at how this race has developed. I mean, I've been watching this series so far for the last several weeks, right? I mean, you take a look at how exciting previous races have been, but then you look at a track like Zandvoort, you take one look at the layout and you think the only get past opportunity is really up into turn 1 and maybe down into that final chicane if you can get a proper run. You think surely in cars that can be as thrilling as these Formula 3s, you can't have, the most exciting races. This will be a nice calm one. You can, just kind of sit back and you can kind of like relax through the background. Yeah, that has not been the case so far throughout the course of this race. It has just been non-stop action all the way throughout. And for guys like Ralph Benitez, I mean, it's been a comfort for himself, but you look back at guys like, Raoul Hyman, definitely has not been the case. I mean, it has just been a complete nail-biter, especially in these midfield battles, and I want to give a huge props as well to Hyman, right? I mean, he had to work his way so much, made multiple 3-wide overtakes and switchbacks. He finds himself in 4th now, has the potential to maybe go for 3rd if he can put in the solid last 3 laps. You never quite know how this race could play out. 3 laps isn't much with these gaps the way they are, but I have a feeling this race might not be over just yet.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, Raul Hyman still chasing a top 3 place, and he's doing well at the moment. Still a second battler, David Holland, managing to actually pick up, I believe, another 0.3 of a second on our 3-times race winner. Another driver I want to point out is Alessandro Di Tullio. What a fight back after that lap 1 incident, which saw him spin and go right to the back of the field. He's now moved up into 9th spot, and he's looking very comfortable right now as the 2 machine heading around the next left. And you've got to give him credit there, Nolan, certainly, because obviously that first lap, it was helter-skelter for poor Alessandro, but he's managed to pull it together. He's made literal overtakes, commentator's curse there, as I've sent him off into the gravel trap. Big shame. I was just talking him up, and then he goes and does that to me.
Well, the good news, I guess I could say for that is the fact that he didn't lose any positions, and it wasn't contact this time around. So we'll take another look at this one here on board with Di Tullio. Did he just push too wide? Oh, that was exactly the case. Got beached on the curb there, it looks like. Part of the curb, part gravel trap, and that sent him wide, but did a good job of slowing that thing down. Of course, that is one of the fastest corners got on the circuit, meaning that, of course, it doesn't take very much to send you flying off into the wall. So all things considered, does a good job to kind of keep things together. So for Di Tullio, he'll maintain 9th place for now with 2 to go.
Yeah, well, we love Cinderella stories, certainly here in the F3 Championship, and certainly we're on the proximity of one. Certainly Ralph Benitez yet to win in the F3 Championship live on RaceSpot here so far. He's going the right way about it to get his first, though, certainly. And I have to say, a season that has been dominated by names such as Raul Hyman and Alessandro Di Tullio, with the odd wins being given to the likes of Flavio Dantas and David Holland. It's going to be a sensational result for that man, Ralph Benitez, to add his name to the list of names that have won races in this championship this season. I hope you guys in the live chat have all enjoyed it as well. It's been absolutely sensational. Please leave your comments in the live chat. We want to hear from you. Who do you think has been one of the main players as we're now watching Ralph Benitez make his way across the line and no doubt take the white flag to begin the final lap here at Zandvoort as they make their way around turn 1. Adrian Falcon was still a mountain to climb, but albeit does have the purple lap.
And 1.9 seconds, I don't care how good of a purple lap you're setting, unless you're racing in one of those F1 cars that they tended to race or that they planned on racing here so long ago, you're not reeling in 1.8 seconds without some serious mistakes from Benitez up in the lead. So I think Benitez will be able to kind of just settle back and kind of take this one nice and easy. He's still got the potential for a fight for the final podium position between David Holland and Raul Hyman, who we're watching now, and that is, of course, Paulo Andretti just in behind in the number 8 car down in that 5th position. The potential is still there, but I think once again, this is one of those times where the race can start to kind of signify that we can take a bit of a breather finally. It's been interesting that it took us until the last lap, though, to get that breather in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it all seemed to kick off from the very start, but that's what we like about the F3 Championship. It brings about incredible stories, incredible moments, and we've had a full season of those. The overtakes we saw here at the start of the race was sensational. Certainly, though the man has been leading all this way, has been unfazed, unchecked. He led from the front. He started at the front. He did it in great fashion. He now rounds the final corner. Ralph Benitez, for the first time in the F3 Championship, live on RaceSpot, will cross the line and he will win. Certainly here at Zandvoort, the Dutch race here in this F3 Championship. And what a way to do it. 1.5 seconds over that, in fact, to win here with Adrian Falcon in 2nd place. David Holland now, he'll cross the line and claim P3. We've got another battle going on here as well for this fight for the battle for 12th spot, with Alex Lado now coming around the final bend with Josh McCall hot on his heels. It's not going to be enough though, as Alex Lado crosses the line and he will take that position as well. What a race, Nolan. Incredible race.
I think about it as a good of a race as you could possibly expect from Zandvoort, right? But I would say even more so. I mean, just absolutely smashed expectations today. I mean, this was a race that was, I think, far more intense than anybody was expected, especially in those opening laps. I mean, a lot of those 3 wide moves we were seeing being blocked out of the pit wall, that stuff we're used to seeing, you know, when these guys are on the last lap, not on the 4th. Goes to show these guys just do not know when to quit giving you some good action to look at.
Yeah, this action only on RaceSpot, folks. Incredible stuff indeed. And I have to say the F3 Championship has been sensational. I can already see the live chat popping off now indeed. And incredible stuff. People asking how they can get involved. And this is the beauty of this championship. It inspires many, and I have to say an inspirational performance from Ralph Benitez, but obviously many of the drivers pulling off some incredible moves from the start of the race, heading around the first few laps. I mean, our breaths were taken away, Nolan. We nearly had no voice boxes left. It was incredible from the get-go, and that's exactly what we want to see. And that is racing. That is what it's all about, folks. You know, these 220 brake horsepower cars may not be your Formula One types, but nevertheless, it doesn't mean you can't send one into turn one or wherever you might want to send one. It's absolutely astronomical, and these are the results. Certainly, Ralph Benitez takes the win, 1.5 seconds clear of Adrian Falcon in P2. David Holland picks up P3, and it finishes ahead, in fact, of Raul Hyman, who finishes in 4th spot. Interesting to see that Alessandro Di Tulia or Raul Hyman, neither of them in the top 3. Paolo Dreiter in 5th position with Kalen Chin in P6. Connor Bell finished in 7th spot with Flavio Dantas in P8. Alessandro Di Tullio in 9th with Kenzie Neuhoff in P10. P11 goes to Alejandro De La Fuente. P12 to Alex Lado. We got 13th spot for Josh McCall and Leonardo Cherry in 14th. Cody Grant finished in 15th place with Clement Heibel in 16th. Simon Fessy finished in 17th with Kazuma Kokobu in P18. Stephen Hancox in P19 and Alessandro La Rocca in P20. And 21st position for Ted Bradbury, who was absolutely phenomenal in that race, right in the thick of the chaos, despite eventually having to box through the damage, with Stephen Phillips finishing in 22nd place. Our fastest lap was to Adrian Falcon, and what an incredible race he had, finishing in 2nd. But I don't know how we can review that one. Certainly it was a very, very thrilling encounter. I mean, Zandvoort, I did say to you, I think before we went on air, certainly, Nolan, that it's a circuit that's relatively narrow, can sort of inspire chaos, certainly around some of the tighter corners, plenty of mystery, certainly around some of these bends, because certainly these guys like to test certain braking zones to sort of aid their cause in moving up the field. We saw a lot of daring maneuvers here tonight, which is what racing needs, doesn't it?
And of course, you talk about how exciting the race was and how people were making these moves left, right, and center, despite the narrow nature of the course. That's why I love cars like these Dallara F3 so much. They promote the high-speed nature that racing can have, and yet they are also still some of the most, if not the most, competitive cars that you can possibly find out there on the roadside of the iRacing service. I mean, it is absolutely phenomenal what they're able to produce week in, week out. If you get the right group of guys to race them, I tell you what, this championship, it has only got the right guys.
It certainly has, and I tell you what, it does not end here, folks. Obviously, we've got plenty of races still to come, of course, with Sebring next on our list, followed up by the Red Bull Ring as well at Austria, and of course an incredible race then at Hungaroring. Now, arguably Hungaroring, stepping onto that circuit for a little bit, similar qualities to that of Zandvoort, certainly a narrow track, offers very tight curbing. It could be a little bit nip and tuck heading into some of the corners. We could be seeing a similar affair around that track.
And of course, you talk about some of the potentials of that track. You mentioned it, of course, has some very similar qualities. I'd argue the only thing that could potentially mean it could be a more exciting race is the fact that it is a longer track. And that can mean, of course, you have longer straights. You can get some bigger draft runs, particularly down that pit straightaway, which is going to be oh so crucial. Turn one here at Zandvoort, it's a bit more of a sweeping hairpin that sweeps 180 degrees. The Hungaroring, it's a much more of a hard break zone hairpin, which could mean some major sands. We're talking 3 wide. Absolutely. That's almost a guarantee if the field is still as competitive as it was here at Zandvoort. I would say 4 wide is a definite possibility to look out for.
Absolutely. We just saw pictures there of Alessandro Di Tullio unfortunately spinning off the track at turn 1, which did put an end to his charge to get onto P1. I mean, just to talk about that incident, I mean, had Alessandro Di Tullio not spun at turn 1, would we have counted on him as a favourite to potentially upset Ralph Benitez here tonight?
There were only 12,000 of a second separating Benitez from Di Tullio, so I think it would definitely be a big thing that Di Tullio could have been able to potentially have a run. I mean, look at how far he charged up, right? Fell all the way back to 21st place, and then managed to fight his way back and finish in 9th, despite a couple of more hiccups throughout the race, and only 19 seconds behind Benitez as well. He was gradually closing in whenever he was in clean air. I think he definitely had the potential to go for a race when had he not been collected. And there you see one of the other battles we had seen earlier on. This was just on the cusp of the top 10. That was between Dantas and Hyman. You saw the little bit of a touch that sent the 7 car far, but for a little bit of a hop of Kalen Chin. Lucky that didn't end up in another spin as well, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a real tasty fight. Certainly, all of them, no strangers to battling, or certainly battling each other. And I give each and every single one of them credit. Certainly, that Three Machine Flavio Dantas was right in the thick of it, but unable to upset Kalen Chin on that occasion. But nevertheless, it was a thrilling encounter. Connor Bell as well, bringing him into the fight. You could just see him in behind, in fact. But yes, absolutely phenomenal stuff. And remember, folks, if you want to get involved into the F3 Championship, you can, of course, find it on the iRacing store as well. Make sure you log onto the website, go onto the store, and you can find it on there. And if you want to take part, as long as your safety rating is up for top tier, you can also take part in this championship series as well. Just be online and get onto the lobby as well and participate. But from us, certainly here at this circuit of Zandvoort for the Dutch race, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you next time next week, certainly for the race at Sebring. Hopefully for another cracker. Do take care, folks. Goodbye.